Hello and welcome to my cover of the Bf-110G2. The Bf-110, which stands for Bayerische Flugzeugwerke 110, was a World War II twin-engine multi-role aircraft, or S.T.A.L.K.E.R, designed during the 1930s. It was said by the RLM that they needed a new, three-seat, twin-engine long-range fighter with high firepower, high performance and an internal bomb bay. The internal bomb bay was sacrificed by Messerschmitt for higher firepower. In the end, they won the contract, but it is questionable if it was because their plane was so good or the other options were just unacceptably bad. On May the 12th, 1936, the first 110 took to the air. It was found that while not as nimble, it was faster than S.T.A.L.K.E.R, as well as being faster than the then top fighter, the Bf-109B1. In late 1938, the switch from UMO engines was made to the new, or should I say available, DB601 engines. This increased the top speed to around 541 km an hour and the range to about 1093 km. Bf-110 production was put on low priority in 1941 due to the arrival of the successor aircraft. Skipping some variants, the G was the ultimate 110 variant. It had DB605 engines outputting around 1500 horsepower on takeoff. This further upgraded its performance, and it was considered an excellent gun platform and night fighter. On the Eastern Front, it proved to be an amazing ground attack plane and heavy fighter. To sum it up, the Bf-110 is a stable ground platform with good payload options and high firepower, but bad maneuverability. In-game performance. Top speed at sea level is about 495 km and 595 at 6,200 meters. Your combat flaps brake at 467 km an hour, your takeoff flaps at 438 and your landing flaps at 290. Your gear rips at 320 km an hour. You experience significant compression above 550 km an hour, which can make it hard to pull out of dives. It is relatively nimble for its size, but it's still a whale compared to single-engine aircraft of the better rating. Alright, let's go over the weapon loads of the Bf-110G2. Stock, you have two 20mm cannons and two 30mm Mk108 cannons with 255 rounds and 750 rounds for the 20mm. This is very high firepower for its better rating, and you will be able to shoot down anything you can put your nose up against. After that, you can unlock additional 20mm cannons, but I don't really recommend bringing them because your stock firepower is really high already and they hinder your performance. Then you can add a 37mm cannon that can be used to destroy ground units or destroy aircraft, but its damage is not that great with the AP armor-piercing belts. Then you can add rockets to your airplane, but they need to be aimed really well because of their relatively low HE load, but if you get a direct hit, you will destroy anything that you... basically anything. Then you have bombs, starting with 50 kilograms. You have 12 of them. These aren't really that great, and I don't recommend using them at all. Then you can have 500 kilogram bombs. You can choose between a single or two. These are alright, and then they can destroy ground units really well. Then you have the 1000 kilogram bomb coupled with a 250 kilogram bomb, and this is a really good bomb load for such a small and maneuverable whatever aircraft, and I recommend using this load for ground RB as the rockets aren't really that great and the damage on the 37mm is really inconsistent. For belts, I recommend the air target belts for the 20mm, the night target belts for the 30mm, APT for the turret, which I cover in a moment, and depending on what you want to shoot at, either armor piercing or air targets for the 37mm. You also have a turret, the Zwilling MG81, and it's great for shooting them aircraft that come behind you. Now let's cover the tactics that you should be using in the 110G2. The G2 is best used in ground RB, where your great suspended weapons and OK performance will turn you into the bane of both those on the ground and in the air. I used the 1000 kg bomb coupled with the 250 kg one, and after I drop them I stay around for a while to shoot down enemy aircraft. With enough practice, you will always get at least 2 tanks out of the battle. In RRB, side climb and try to go for bombers. Winning against fighters is tricky. If they pay attention, you need good keyboard flying skills, since you cannot even dream of running from anything that isn't Japanese. You can use your tail gunner to piss off people and get some separation. Overall, you cannot really win in a 1v1 with anyone decent in the game. But with flaps, you can try rolling scissors or head-on attacks. Hello and welcome to a game, and hopefully this is going to go well, because my past 3 or 4 ones ended up, and let's just say they weren't really bright. Alright, so I'm going for this B8. Oh no. Yes, turn away. There is a fucking fly flying around my face. Okay, I'm not going to follow you into that. There is the British F4F. Alright, you guys wait for me. I'm really not having fun. As you can tell by my you know what, I won't even try to pronounce that word. Intuitistic voice. Yeah, that's it.
We need to put more pressure on the enemy. They're winning.
What am I doing with my life? You don't show her. It's so bad that I have a... Boom boom in the back. And it's actually pretty dangerous, because I've been consistently setting people on fire with just a few hits. It has the damage. It has actually better damage than the 50 cal on the IL-2s in the Russian tree. The IL-2s. Yeah. Alright, let's die to that F4U. It's extremely tiring to fly this plane in air-to-air, I think, and I'm really not having fun. I know that some people like it, but, like, why? It's so much better in ground RB, because there you have the bombs, and after you drop your bombs, the performance you have is actually enough to shoot down basically anything you meet, especially with how they aren't paying attention to you, but the tanks on the ground. But here, with that F4U, for example, if he was... I don't... Oh. So if I would have been 1v1ing him, he has every single advantage you can have it. And if he lost, it's totally his fault. It's not that I'm like you are good in this plane, it's that they mess up, because you can only capitalize on other people's mistakes.
The enemy is winning. We must
Like, look at this compression, 600 kilometers an hour. Do I really want to fly into the... Yeah. No, don't crash, please. I want kill. Kill. Give me kill. This is going to be an amazing showcase with a lot of heroes and action. Yeah. But like, this is what you can expect from this plane. You won't be having 4 kills or 3 kills. Unless the whole enemy team is full of blockheads who will just mindlessly stall in front of you. Or go head on with you. You can do rolling scissors with American fighters, especially if you deploy your flaps. But really that's it, because if they start using their advantage of having... Wait, what? Oh, I didn't understand why he had the 20mm sound. Oh. There we go, at least 2 kills. So yeah. This is kind of what you can expect in ARB. And I especially made a video, like I made this gameplay part in ARB because in ground army you just drop your bombs and then shoot at people who don't pay attention, and that's not because the plane is so good, that's because they aren't paying attention to you. You are slow, your turn rate is average at best, your climb rate is just enough to get to the same altitude as fighters, and your weapons are good, of course, because you have a good bomb load, you have good guns, your defensive threat is amazing, but yeah. So, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you back again. Goodbye.